Hello, my name is Mandy. I am with Scott Leroy Marketing, and today's class is Database Overview. This is going to be a pretty basic class. This is going to go over how to get your contacts into your command platform. There's a few ways, and I'm going to touch on each one today. And then also, once your contacts are in your command database, how do you get those organized? How do you tag them? And I'll also show you some tips and tricks on how to do things in bulk so you're not having to always make like little tiny individual adjustments. I'll show you how to better leverage that database, how to get them organized and get them prepped in order to do your marketing through command. And so if you were here with me live today, definitely go ahead and drop questions and comments in the chat. Again, based on time, I'll try to get those answered for you in real time for you. If not, I will make sure I stay a few minutes after class and help get those addressed. And then if you're watching this back on recording, you can always reach out to us at support@scottleroymarketing.com and we'll be happy to help. So first things first, let me just show you what your Command Contacts tab looks like. So we're just going to sign into Command here. And your Contacts tab is going to be on the top left-hand corner of your screen, a little bitty person in a square right here. If you are not familiar with the icons just yet, you can always click that red square at the top and it will pop the names out for you. You can just click it again if you want to hide them. So we'll go ahead and click on the little person. And this is your Contacts tab. Now, I'm going to switch to my class view here. There we go. All right. And so this is your contacts tab. This is where we will mainly spend most of our time today. And another important thing when you're looking at your contacts is to make sure that you're looking at your personal contacts versus if you're on a team. So if you are a solo agent, you should be good to go. You should see your name up here in the top right-hand corner, and you should see your name right here where it says so-and-so's contacts, and you should be all set. However, if you are on a team, that means you have another team account and a whole nother set of team contacts within your command. So depending on what you want to work on, whether you want to work on your personal contacts or you want to work on your team contacts, you'll just need to make sure you're on the right set of contacts. And you can simply do that by checking those two places I just pointed out. This is Scott's personal contacts. If you want to move over to your team contacts, you would simply click your name in the top right and choose your team account right here in the drop down. Okay. Today we're going to focus on personal contacts, so we're going to keep our screen just like it is. I just wanted to make sure I highlighted that before you take any action. Okay. So let's talk about how to get your contacts into command first. There is an easy way to get them brought over to command in bulk, meaning more than one at a time, multiple. And the easiest way to do that is by importing them into command. You'll see the import button right here at the top right-hand corner of your screen. You can import contacts into command using a spreadsheet, kind of like an Excel spreadsheet. I'll show you a sample right here on your screen. Just a simple spreadsheet just like this, okay? If you have your contacts added onto this spreadsheet, you can simply copy and paste them on here if you need to. If your contacts are in another database like Google Contacts, maybe they're in the cloud or iCloud contacts on your phone, or maybe you had another CRM. No matter where they are, you should have an export option to export those contacts into a spreadsheet similar to this. Okay. Once you have that file of contacts, I'm going to show you how you can get it imported into command. Just very quickly, whatever that file looks like, you do always have the option to send it to us at Scott Leroy Marketing, and we can actually help you reformat it and get it imported for you if you would like. But if you'd like to do this on your own, I'm going to go through this quickly for you just to show you. If you ever need to slow this down and work on it again, we do have tech tip videos and also the class archive where you can go back and kind of pause it and follow along if you need to. But just really quickly, I want to show you how this works. let's say you have your your own, let me get my English out, I'm sorry. You have your own spreadsheet of contacts right here. And I'm just going to type in a contact. So first name, last name, you'll have a phone number that you add in, make one up here, and then an email as well. Okay. Whenever you have your file like this and full of contacts, we always just recommend add a little column right here, name tags. That way, when you go and import your contacts into Command, you want at least one tag, which is also considered like a label, if you will. You'll want one tag that's at least applied to every single contact in your list. That way, in case there's any issue at all, God forbid, but what if something goes wrong with your import and things don't go in the right place or things are missing? You'll want that one tag to be able to locate all of these contacts from this one import in your command account so that you can locate them easily and get it corrected, even archive and delete them and try again if you need to. So just make sure that you add that one tag to at least all of your contacts on that file just to make life simpler for yourself, okay? So we're just going to put sphere as the contact for this, if I can spell today. And if you need to add any additional tags, you just want them separated with a comma and a space. So comma space, comma space, comma space, whatever you need to add as a tag, okay? And you can put individual tags on that contact as well. It doesn't have to just be a bulk tag for everybody. Once you have this set up, just make sure all of your headers are in that very first row and that you have something listed over every column to indicate what that information is. Okay, we're going to save our file here. I'm going to go ahead and close it. For some reason, it's not letting me save this file. Give me just 2 seconds. All right. Hopefully it worked. We're going to try it one more time here. I'm going to adjust the name if it'll let me. Okay. All right. I'm going to open it back up just to make sure our little guy was there. He was not. One more second, guys. Gotta love tech. Don't forget to add the column for tags. And let's try again. It is just not liking it today. It's okay. I'll and move on to something else here. And we will try to get it to go through even if it won't. Now it won't even close for me. Great. Fabulous. All right. So when you were done with your custom file, and hopefully you did not have the issues that I just had with mine, you would click Import right here in your Command Contacts. You can go ahead and drag and drop that file into this particular location, or click Browse to find the file on your computer or device, and just click Continue. You'll follow the prompts there to get that file updated and into Command. One of the disadvantages of using a file like I just showed you, where you're making your own columns, is that there is a mapping process that you have to do. And so, with the mapping process, you actually will have to map the columns on your spreadsheet with the columns on the contact in Command, and that can take a little bit of time. You'd have to match first name to first name field, the last name column to the last name field, and so on. So again, it may be a little bit of benefit on the front end because you don't have a lot of reformatting that you had to do to that file. It was pretty easy, but when you're actually importing it into Command, it can get a little tedious and you need to be very careful. So I'm going to show you a second way to import your contacts into Command, and that's actually using their own template that you can see right here. So you'll see an option to download a template. I'm going to open that on the screen for you. Here we go. And so with this particular template, you actually can see that the column headers are already there for you. It tells you exactly what piece of information to put in every single column. And that way it takes a little bit of the guessing game away. And it also might prompt you to put in a piece of information you might not have thought to include for your contacts. The catch with this template is you can't change these two top rows. Just don't touch them, don't mess with them. They need to stay exactly like they are in order to import correctly. So no deleting columns. Like if you don't have suffixes or prefixes for your contacts, so you don't want to include it, just leave them blank. Don't worry about removing the columns, okay? There's a couple of other tricky things about this template. I'm just going to show you really quick. But again, if you're willing to do the prep work on this file, it's a lot easier to import and a little bit cleaner too. So we'll just go ahead and put in our information here. So first name, last name. The other columns are optional. As long as your contact has a first name, it should import. Key dates. I want to show you these two specific columns for birthday and home anniversary. It's pretty much open when it comes to the formatting. Some people use periods or hyphens or forward slashes when they're writing dates. The biggest thing is you need to have all three pieces. You need to have the day, month, and year. Okay, so you can go ahead and enter that date in any way that you would like to into these fields. And it should go and you should be good to go there with the import, okay? So even again, if you use periods, forward slashes, or hyphens, or even military dates, those will also work. You shouldn't have any issues there. Coming over to the phone numbers, this is where we have a little additional column that you'll need to be particular about. Come back here. Notice that after the cell phone, home phone, work phone, and other phone columns, you'll notice these. And it's just pointing out that only one phone number can be marked primary. The primary phone number will be the one that's used when you mark it to your clients in Command. So if you ever go to send a bulk text, you ever go to call them, things like that, this primary number is the one that will be used. So you'll just need to determine which phone number is primary. So let me put in our fake number here. And then you will want to put a capital Y in the column next to the phone number. Even if it's the only phone number that you used, you'll want to make sure that Y is in that column right next to it. The formatting for the phone number is pretty similar to the date. Pretty much any format you put in here is fine. No punctuation, hyphens, periods, whatever you want to do, even if it has parentheses. The only thing that I would say steer clear of is, you know, how sometimes phone numbers, when you've exported them from a CRM or something like that, and it has the plus sign before the area code and the digits. In that case, you would want to make sure you don't have the plus sign on there. Okay. If you're sending them to us to reformat, we do that for you. So don't worry about it. All right, so you choose whichever phone numbers you want to put in. Just make sure you have at least one capital Y, or excuse me, you make sure you only have one capital Y in one of those primary columns to mark it primary. And then we'll travel on over here to the right and look at the email fields. Notice personal email, work email, and other email, but we have that additional column again. The system also needs to know which email address you want to be primary. And so again, that's the one that will be used for marketing within Command. If you go to send bulk emails, send one-off emails, or email campaigns, anything like that, this is the email address that will be used for that contact. So just make sure you've got that capital Y in that column only once beside the one email you want to be considered primary. Moving on over to the right again, you get into physical addresses. You'll notice there are fields for primary address, and there's several columns for this. Address 1, address line 2, city, state, zip. Those are all required when it comes to filling out the physical address. It's okay if you don't have something for line 2, so let me clarify. As long as you have address line 1, city, state, and zip code, you should be good to go, along with this label and this column right here. You need to label it whatever type of physical address it is. So we'll say home. Country's not needed. And then is it a mailing address? You will want to put Y beside the address that needs to be considered mailing, as that will also be used when you go to market, okay, through command. You do have fields where you can add 2 more additional addresses, and I'll travel over there to show you. Again, make sure only one is marked as the mailing address. Coming on over. Now let's talk about the last few columns on the file. Remember I told you about tags? Make sure they all have a tag. If we import for you, we add a tag for you, and we usually use the date that we're doing the import. So you may see something like this. And again, it's just for convenience purposes. That way, just in case something ever goes wrong and we need to find all the contacts on this import, we can locate them and easily take care of the matter. And if you have any other tags that you want to use, comma space, whatever you need to add. Source, you'll want to pick one source for that contact of how you met them if you would like. Again, not necessarily required. If you have any additional notes, and if you have their social media platform links, just make sure that these are full links, full public links that if you click it, it will take you right to their particular social media profile. So you can add those in if you like, but again, they're optional. Once you're done making these changes to this file, let me see if this little guy will work for us today. He's doing the same thing. See if I can get him to work. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and upload it into our command. Let me change his name really quick because I probably have already imported with that before. If you have a file with the same name and you try to import with it, it will reject it because it has seen that file before or assumes that it has. And so once you've added it right here, you can click continue. Now that we're working with the template, the actual command template itself, I don't have to map. It did it for me because of those great headers that are on that spreadsheet. So you will see a list of the contacts that were on your spreadsheet on the left. And on the right, you'll see how it automatically mapped those columns to the fields within command. Saves you a lot of time on the back end, even though formatting that spreadsheet took a few more steps than a custom sheet would. Go ahead and click Finalize Import. It will let you know it's working on it, and you can return to your contacts to keep working while you're waiting. That's what this blue banner here is, letting you know that it is currently importing your contacts. You can always come right here to hit refresh on your browser. It should be done unless you're working with a massively large import. It's rather quick. Now we can come right here to our notifications, and it shows that our contact import was successful. If for some reason you did not get all of your contacts to import correctly, sometimes it does. There are systems in place to where it helps you prevent duplicate contacts as much as possible. So if a contact already has that primary email or primary phone number within your command database, it will not import them. But if it does that, in this notification itself, it will say some failed and give you a link to go to view your failed import log. That spreadsheet will look pretty much exactly like the one you imported, But in the far right-hand column, it will give you the specific reason why those contacts did not import so that you can help get it fixed. Okay. So since our contact import was successful, I'm going to search for the little person that we just imported in. Oh, I have filters on, excuse me. So my filters is not allowing me to show you. Let me clear them really quick. Grab our new little person. There they are. And so that way we see that he did get imported correctly. You can see today's date, and it went ahead and added those tags for us that we added into the columns. Okay, pretty cool. So those are ways that you can import contacts into your command. I'm going to go ahead and manage my Smart View really quick. I need to change this to class so it will stay on the screen for us here. I'll show you what I'm in here in just a moment. There we go. Now they'll stay in place and so we can keep working. So that's how you import contacts into your command. You also have the option to add them individually right here. And I'm going to walk you through the fields on this particular form really quick to show you how to get that individual contact imported into command. If you're feeling particularly tech savvy, there is a way to set up an import from your phone contacts directly into the Command Mobile app. And we have a tech tip video on how to do that. It is fairly simple. So if you want to do it that way, you can. There also, on a bigger level, if you're ever looking to purchase a sync, meaning your contacts in command would stay in sync with your contacts in another platform like Google Contacts, your phone contacts, iCloud contacts, another CRM, something like that. If you're ever looking for something to constantly sync and update those contacts automatically, you can make that kind of purchase through command. It is a monthly fee, and purchase a sync like that. If you're ever needing that, I just wanted you to know. Let's go ahead and look at how to add a contact individually. Again, you would enter the name here. It's just one field. You don't necessarily need their full name, but you enter what you want. I think I already have somebody named that. Hold on. There we go. You have an option to add a relationship. Relationship means that they are linked to another contact's profile. So think if you're ever going to need to know who in your database knows each other. This is a good way to track that. So we can add a relationship and search for the person in your contacts. So we will do our other random contact here and then choose the actual relationship from this drop-down menu. There's a gazillion options in here, so just choose the one closest to the situation. And then once you've added the relationship, there's a field further down at the bottom where you can add more if you want to. Relationships are super helpful if you ever plan on doing mailing labels or direct mailer campaigns like postcards, especially if you have contacts, multiple contacts that would receive mail at the same location. This means that it would send one piece of mail to that location with all of their names on it instead of multiple pieces of mail for each individual person. So definitely look into adding relationships if you want. They can always be edited later. Pretty much every field I'm showing you right now with adding this contact can be edited later. So don't worry if you don't have that piece of information just yet. Primary email, self-explanatory. You get to choose what type of email it is. Phone number as well. You get to choose that piece of information and what type it is. Excuse the names that we make up in here. We do this so often that we have to keep changing it every little time so that it goes. Remember, if it has the same primary piece of information as another contact, it will fail to add. So coming on down, lead source type. You can say that it is maybe another agent. Maybe it was a referral. Maybe it's from school or a workplace, a call in, Whatever it is, you can choose from this lead source list if you would like, or maybe you were introduced to those people by another person in your contacts. If that's so, you can go ahead and select from contacts and choose a person in your contact list as the lead source type for this contact. If they are a lead, you can mark them as such. A lead would be kind of a good example is you have not had that real estate conversation with them yet. They might be a contact. You may have spoken maybe briefly, but you haven't had that real estate conversation yet. Then you might want to go ahead and mark them as a lead so that you know you need to have that conversation. Tags are just below that, and you can go ahead and put your cursor in this field. It will show you the different tags that you already have created. But if there is a new tag that you want to add, you can also do that as well simply by typing in this field. And if it's not created yet, you can choose Create as New. Gives you an option to edit the name one more time. You can choose the color and Create Tag. And now that tag will be applied to this contact and also be available to add to other contacts in your database. Click Add More Information and scroll down, and you have three more options. Additional contact information. If you have any more pieces of information, you can choose to enter them here. I do want to point out the Do Not Contact toggle right here. This does not, in essence, do anything in particular to your contact as far as it does not prevent them from being marketed to within command. It's more of a visual indicator to you of, hey, don't contact them. I would recommend taking a couple of extra steps to make sure that you do not reach out to them. And one of those steps would be you can take the primary contact information from these fields, cut it from these fields, and bring it down here to the additional fields. That way you still retain their contact information, but because there's no primary contact information in the top fields, they will not receive marketing. Emails can't go to them. Bulk text can't go to them if there's nothing in the primary fields. So that just might be one little extra step you can do if you definitely don't want to lose their contact information, but you do not want to reach out to them anymore right now. You can do that. And you can also add a tag to them. Make yourself a DNC tag that means do not contact, and that way you're careful to help admit them from any marketing you do. Coming on down, primary address. You would simply type in the address, and as you begin typing, it does pull data, and you can choose the correct listing or property from the drop-down menu and choose what type of location that is. It will automatically default to be their mailing address. If for some reason their mailing address is different, or maybe you have a secondary address you want to keep, you can always enter that right here. And then for social profiles, you can add those as many as you need to and remove them if you don't happen to have them. For the About field, gives you a little more information. You can enter a legal name, which will be used on their documents when you start getting into that piece if you need to remember what it is. Description, this is where you can add the birthday and the home anniversary. If you haven't checked out our Smart Plans overview class just yet, Smart Plans do have a plan that you can add to where it will help you remember and reach out to your contacts on their birthday and their home anniversaries. Pretty cool. Relationship, that's where I told you you can add a new or additional relationships if you need to. You can even keep their company name and job title. The company name will suggest different company names that you can choose from, but you can always start typing in the name of the company and create it if it's not already on the list. Okay. And custom. These are custom fields that you can actually adjust in the back office of your command. I'm going to show you that before you leave today. But it's things that maybe you specifically want to know or keep that information for your contacts. Maybe it's pertinent to your niche in business, something you just like to be able to keep track of, a sports team, you like to always connect with your contacts over sports, something like that. You can always create these particular custom fields. One popular one is like for a pie giveaway. A lot of agents do pie giveaways. You can come down here to check through your custom fields and actually create some like a pie giveaway. And when you choose that particular custom field, you can even make it a multiple choice field. Whereas some of these up here, see how it's just text and I can add in as much text as I want. You have the option to build these custom fields, and I'll show you that before class is over. But you can always enter that information for a custom field here and click create. Now it's making our contact, and what you're seeing on your screen now is a contact profile. This is what you see when you click on someone's name in your Command Contacts tab. On the left, you will see the information that you just entered into that contact. So you see their name and information at the top. Coming on down, I'm going to skip neighborhoods for a quick second, and you will also see their information you've entered here. Relationships are listed down here at the bottom. And then this neighborhood section that has just gotten added into right here, there is a way where you can add neighborhoods to your contacts and set them up on smart plans that will automatically send them neighborhood snapshots and current listings, monthly or biweekly. It's automatically compiled. You don't have to worry about coming up with the content. We do have tech tip videos on how to do that. It's called Monthly Neighborhood Nurture Smart Plan. A little bit of a mouthful, but if you just go on our YouTube channel and look for the keyword neighborhood or neighborhood nurture, those videos should come up for you and show you how to get that set up for your contacts. Everybody benefits from that, right? Sellers, buyers, tire kickers, everybody can benefit from knowing about the market. So right here, you also have the ability to look at and copy the link of the neighborhood information. I'm going to click preview to open it in a new tab just to show you what this looks like so that you can see the neighborhood name, stats and a map, market snapshot. Coming on down, it will show you any listings in that area, nearby schools, and then at the bottom, other neighborhoods that are around it that they can click on and find out more. One caveat with this neighborhood preview, guys. Currently, it is defaulting to an unbranded page. Notice this says kw.com in the address instead of it being our KW agent site. And over here it says find an agent instead of being branded to an agent. Hopefully they are getting this corrected very soon. But for the time being, if you would like to share these links, you can simply put your cursor in the address bar and type in your subdomain that you have for your KW agent site. So all we did was type in the Scott Leroy Marketing dot, and now it's our full KW agent site. I'm going to hit enter and show you how that brands. There you go. So now you see Scott Leroy's name at the top left. You no longer see the option to find another agent. Now you can take that link, copy it, share it with people. Might be a great thing to post if you've ever gotten into social post campaigns and Command, where you can create posts to go out onto your social media platforms. That would be a great link to share so they can go and look at neighborhood information. Coming on back to the contact here. Karen says, how do you add a neighborhood to the map? Um, yes, unfortunately, right now, some of the neighborhoods, especially if it's brand new or if it's in more of a rural location, sometimes the neighborhood is not defined. We do have a tech tip video that will go in and show you how to add neighborhoods if you want to jump in there and start searching for it. Some of the workarounds for that as well, um, Karen, is you can choose the neighborhoods around it, or instead of looking right here to add for the neighborhood nurture, there's an alternative called saved search. I'll just jump to that next so I explain it to you. But right over here on the right-hand side, you'll notice a tab for saved searches. This is how you can actually set up a search for your contact based on a certain set of criteria, like 3 bed, 2 bath, 2,000 square feet in a particular town or area, right? And so your system will automatically send them updates of listings that match their criteria. The benefit of it over sending just the neighborhoods is that with this create a saved search, it actually allows you to draw on a map. So you could actually go and draw on a map a particular area instead of choosing it by neighborhood, and that might actually help capture that area for you, Karen, a little bit better. So we have tech tip videos to show you how to set up these saved searches. And also there is one caveat with those. They do have to sign up on your KW app or either your KW agent site. If you haven't jumped into the consumer mobile class that we have just yet, go ahead and check that out, Consumer Mobile App Overview. That will show you how a consumer can use your branded app and what all you get as a benefit as an agent, what all you can do for your consumer, how you can personalize it for them, and how you get Big Brother access so that you can see all the listings they're viewing and favoriting and communicate with them through the app. Okay. All right. So that would be an alternative to your neighborhood right there. Over on this right-hand side, you'll also notice a timeline that tracks the activity for your contact. You'll see an opportunities tab. Those are transactions. We have other classes on that if you haven't jumped into transactions yet. But this is an opportunity, excuse me, this is a place where you can create an opportunity or see any opportunities that this contact is currently involved in or past involved with. And also smart plans. If you're not familiar with smart plans, I know I've mentioned them a couple of times. Pretty robust system, kind of like what we used to call in KW drip campaigns. It can actually send bulk text, bulk email, create reminders, create call tasks for you, all kinds of goodies. So definitely jump into those. That's massive leverage for your business. Also, if any tasks are associated with this contact, they would be here. And notes. And in every single tab that I've clicked on, not only can you see any past data, but you can also create new. Like if you need to create a note, you see the action button to do so right there. Now that we've kind of explored how to add in the contacts and what the actual contact looks like here on your screen, let's go over to some of the ways that you can actually start organizing your contacts and getting them prepped. Let's go back to contacts here. And when you're looking at your contacts here, there's a couple of things you can do to actually customize this view to make sure it's what you want to see every time you come into command. Notice over here that it has an option to customize columns. These are the columns that it's referring to. Name will always stay in place, but you can go ahead and change which ones these are by clicking Customize Columns. On the left, choose the columns you want to show, or uncheck the ones you don't. So we'll uncheck a few. And then on the right-hand side, you can choose what order they show in. So maybe you want to see email first. Maybe you want to see when you last contacted them next. Just drag and drop in the order you'd like and click Apply. Notice that your columns did update and now they should be in the order that you prefer. You do also have another view option to change here. One is list view. That's what we're currently looking at. And the other is tile. I'm going to show you this, but just know it's a little limited. While it does show more spacing between your contacts, notice your column headers are gone now. Column headers are a great way to sort through your contacts. So to me, this functionality is not as great, but maybe we do see some agents that choose to have this just for visibility. It's whatever you prefer. Just make it what you want. We're going to go back to list view right here. And when I said sort the columns, see how a little caret, a little arrow appears when I hover over some of the column headers? That means I can click on it and it will sort. So this went alphabetical A to Z. I can click on it again and it will go There we go. Had to click it again. It will go Z to A, and go to sending instead. So it's up to you, however you want to keep your view. You also have filters that you can decide. Maybe you want to see your leads every single time you come into your command without having to find them or sort through them every single time. So you can come right here and use filters. I'm going to click on this to show you your options. Let me minimize some of the ones that are open. So these are all different kinds of filters that you can come in here and sort and hunt through your contacts. So you can choose to see just leads or your contacts only or all. Maybe you want to hunt by a certain tag, a certain lead source. Agent site connection, that means they've signed up on your consumer app or your website. Their login works for both places. So either one that they went to and click the sign up button. But that's a way that you can come in here and find out who has signed up, or maybe find who hasn't signed up. And then that way you know you need to reach out to them because you can come from contribution. Everybody needs your app, even if they're just a personal contact, maybe not looking into real estate, but they're a friend of yours. They need to check out your app and give you feedback on it, see how great it works for them, right? Tadisha, I will definitely show you that too, how to delete contacts. It's a two-step process, archive and delete. And there is a tech tip video on our YouTube that will show you that, but by the end of class, I'll also show you how to do that real quick, okay? And so neighborhoods, you can hunt by those. Another popular is if you scroll down, one of the newer filters is you can see which contacts are on smart plans or maybe which ones are not on smart plans yet so that you know you need to add them in. Okay. You do have some advanced filters up here at the top. I'll click on that briefly to show you. This is where you can actually add multiple filters at a time, and it gives you more options. Like maybe you just want to know who doesn't have that piece of information filled out. Like we can try to find who doesn't have a home anniversary on file and choose is not empty, would show us the ones with home anniversaries. If that field is empty, we know they don't have a home anniversary on file, so we need to find that out. And you can hit apply to any of those filters and hunt through your contacts that way. Once you're done setting your filters, once you're done adjusting your column view, you can save this particular view by creating a smart view up here at the top. You would simply come up to the top and click Create Smart View. You would name it whatever you would like. And if you want this view to show every single time you log into your command, you can go ahead and set it as your default smart view if you would like. Then click Save Smart View. And once you do that, it will be in your list of smart views right here where you can always come and click. A great thing to do that with are like leads, maybe most recently active, so you can keep an eye on who's been active on your app and who's not. Maybe you want to keep an eye on who definitely has not been active or you haven't reached out to in a long time, so you can make sure you stay on top of it. All kinds of different smart views you can create here, and that way you don't constantly have to go through your filters all the time. Okay. Once you have the view set up how you would like it, and I showed you how to use your filters, now let's show a little bit of the bulk action you can take if you're trying to make changes to your contacts and you want to do it more than one at a time. There is a hidden menu on this page, and I'll show you where it is. You could simply click the contacts that you want to make the change to. Even if it's just one, notice our bulk action menu appeared right here. This is a list of bulk actions that you can take. I'm going to click off of it just for a second and show you that you can select one contact, multiple, or use the select all button here in the header. I see those questions coming through, guys. I'm going to try to get through the last little bit here for the last few minutes, and I absolutely will help get those answered for you in just a second, probably right after the recording stops. And so we're going to select all, And from our action menu, you can add an activity to all of these. That means, what if you ran into all of them at an open house, or you happen to see them at an event and you just want to add that activity onto their contact profile to document that you had that contact with them? You can do that here. You can add a note. Can also add tags. Remember, adding bulk tags is a great way to keep your contacts organized. When you're doing marketing through your command, you'll be doing it by adding contacts according to their tags. So maybe these are all contacts that you just made sure have a primary email on file. So they would be perfect candidates to set up for an email campaign or smart plan. So let's go ahead and add a tag, and we'll say email campaign. Maybe you have a particular campaign, you can add that too. We'll go ahead and create that tag, pick a color, create tag, and then submit to add it to the contacts. You can choose more tags too if you want to. It doesn't have to just be one at a time. And go ahead and submit, and it will apply those tags to our contacts. There it goes, it updated. Every now and again, it will give you the green banner showing you that, hey, it did add the tags, but you don't see it on your screen just yet. Just hit that refresh in your browser and it should get that corrected for you and you'll see the tags there. And so that's a way to add bulk tags. If I go back to my bulk action menu, you will also see towards the bottom, remove tags. That is also a way you can remove tags in bulk if you need to. Scrolling back up a little bit, you do have an option to add them to a smart plan in bulk right here. And one of the agents, you were just asking about how to archive and delete. Archive is right here. So if you were to choose this, it would take these contacts and move them into your contact archive. Your archive is hidden back here in the top right-hand corner. If you choose this and click settings, I'll take you back there in just a second and show you your contact archive, because there would be that one final step to actually delete them from your archive. It is a two-step process to try to encourage you not to do it so that you don't lose data. You don't just happen to click a wrong button and lose data. So, first step is to choose this archive button right here from the drop down. I'm going to skip a couple of these options because they have to do more with the team. But do notice that you see export options right here. If instead of exporting all of your contacts, you only want to export the ones that you've selected, you can choose this and it will export them into a spreadsheet for you. If you want mailing labels on a spreadsheet, you can do that. And if you want mailing labels as a PDF, you can do this. You can bulk mark them as a lead, as well as at the bottom, you see unmark them as a lead. We covered the remove tags. You do have the option to send an email. This would be a one-off email that you send just to these contacts that you've selected here, that you do have the option to do that. So you don't have to build a whole smart plan or build a whole email campaign just to send an email. If you have one email you want to send to one contact or a few contacts, this option might be a better choice for you. And you can also send a text message to your contacts this way. Angel, I see your question. This is it. This is how you would send send a bulk text to a certain amount of contacts that you've selected as just a one-off text, okay? You do need a Twilio account connected to your command. Twilio is optional. You do not have to have it, but it is required to send bulk text through command. It's relatively cheap. I think their lowest package right now is less than $5. So you might want to check that out. Um, it's it's pretty brilliant. It's some heavy leverage, let me speak clearly, for your command, because everybody communicates through text nowadays, right? And so if you have a plan in place where you want to start nurturing your database through text, smart plans can automate text for you as well. And so if you have that Twilio account connected and you do like a smart plan or even just this right here, that's some heavy leverage. Think of how much time it would save you from having to manually text people individually, right? All right. And you do have share a copy right here. This is literally sharing a copy of your contacts information with another person. You would not keep track of it. You don't get to see what they do with it. You can't see if they've called that person or anything like that. It's literally just giving them the information. So it's not heavily used, but you do have an option right there too. I'm going to click off of our bulk action menu now since we just did a quick overview of that. I'll show you the options on how to merge, well, find duplicates in your contacts and help merge them together. And then we'll jump back into settings in the back office and I'll show you what's back there. Chances are you will not use it very often. So I'll just take literally 30 seconds to show you where it is in case you ever want to go plundering. But real quick, let's cover finding duplicates and merging them together. You do have the option to find duplicates right here under the three dots on your right and check for duplicates as the top is at the top. If I didn't mention it before, you do have export options here. These three options for export are different than the ones I just showed you, as these will apply to all of your contacts in Command. Okay, so if you want to export all of them onto a spreadsheet, this is where you do it. Let's go ahead and click check for duplicates. The system will run a check. It lets you know that little banner at the bottom right-hand corner. Yep, Angel, I'm fixing to show you that. And so you can run that scan, click your refresh button on your browser, and you should get a notification right here saying that the database scan is completed, and it actually found 113 pairs of duplicates. And you can click review duplicates right here. We'll go ahead and click it. It will show you the people that it's trying to match together. Okay. And so it thinks these two people are the same people because they have the same phone number right here. Same for the next pair. As you go through these, you can click ignore if they are not the same people and you want to keep them separate. Simply click ignore and it will ignore that match and will not try to match them again. But then maybe this is the right person and you do want to merge this information and make it one contact. You would simply click merge. It will show you the two contacts and you need to select the one that you want to keep. So we'll select this little guy on the left because it looks like he might have a little more information. He has an email address where the other one doesn't. So we'll click that. Notice it will label him as keep this one and merge this one. That means this one will go away and this will be the contact left. You can choose to show more fields if you want to compare side by side. Essentially, the information from the one on the right will be added or merged to the one on the left. There are some rare cases where the information on the right will actually be lost. And in that case, it happens more. I'm trying to think of a field that would have that example, but it means that basically this contact already has information in that field and there's not a way to merge them together. Don't worry, that typically does not happen with primary information like phone number and email, so you should be good to go. But go ahead and click continue, and it will let you review one last time to make sure that you retained all the information you wanted to retain. You can choose to show all if you would like, and click merge and delete duplicate once you're ready. And that's how you can go and scan your account and make sure you don't have duplicates and you can actually merge them together if you need to. I'm going to travel back to the contacts tab just to show the archive and delete function here, which will lead us to the back end settings. So I can show you those that I had mentioned before. If you are looking to delete a contact, you would simply select that contact or multiple. You can select all, however many you want. If I haven't shown you this over here on the right, you can see up to 500 contacts per page. So if you're working with a bigger database, make sure this little puppy says 500. And that way, when you select all, it will select up to those first 500 so that you can do it in bulk more. So select the 500, choose your action from the drop-down menu. We're going to choose archive right here. Pretend we chose it. It will ask you to confirm, and you just say yes. The contact would disappear from this page, and you would get a banner confirming that that contact is not now archived. That's the first step to deleting them. Then you need to go to your contact archive and actually manually delete them from there. Let's go to your name at the top right-hand corner and go to your settings. On the left-hand side under command settings, you will have a whole slew over here of contact settings. Let me click it again so it'll expand. These all have to do with your contacts. Again, this is likely something you are never going to use. I'd only like to show it very briefly. This is not a place to come poke around in, guys. Just because, notice this baby right here, a database wipe. Please steer clear. There is no undo button from this. So just know it's here. Definitely don't suggest ever doing it, but it's here if you ever need it. Contact archive is where we want to go for that second step of deletion. Contact archive. Any contacts you have archived would be listed here, and you would have the option. You'll see the little guy's name right here. Over here on the right-hand side, you would have an option to either restore and put them back into your command contacts, or the other option is to permanently delete them. Again, no undo button once you click that. Okay. But you can come back here and kind of sort through the contacts, select all or select them individually, and then you would have the options over here again to restore or delete them permanently. And that is it, guys. That is it. It comes to 2 o'clock now. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. Again, if you're here with me live, definitely drop those questions and comments in the chat. I'm fixing to stay here and help get those answered for you. If you're watching this back on a recording, please reach out to us at support@scottleroymarketing.com and we'll be happy to help. Thanks for watching.